Continuing our conversation now with Reverend Derek McCoy. And Reverend McCoy, I'm curious. Based on your theme, based on what you're saying, Jackie Robinson shouldn't have played baseball, or he should have played baseball and just shut up, or Muhammad Ali should have just kept on boxing and not protested the Vietnam War, which he disagreed with. What do you think about that premise?
You know what? You bring up a great point. Because as I sit here, as I'm talking to you, I'm one of the people that have been afforded opportunities because of the stances of the past, so Jackie Robinson or other folks who have stood up at different points. I think today we live in such a polarized situation and a politically polarized place. And I get, if we think about the day when Muhammad Ali began to talk about the war and began to say, hey, I'm an objector and this is why, there's a space for it. And I don't, if I remember correctly, even in that situation, it was during some interviews, it was during some times where he could take those moments. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of these guys. He basically
said, I cannot kill people that I do not consider my enemy. And he went to jail. If he had not gone to jail, do you think things would have been better off? Well, that's a good question. I think when I look at Muhammad Ali specifically, or Cassius Clay back at that day, I do understand. I said, he was making a point. I hear his point. Even in my today, if I'm looking at it back then, I'm saying, I don't necessarily agree with the point, because if I have to go to war for the fight for the freedoms of our country, I will. And I do understand that was a unique situation. But isn't one of those freedoms the ability to stand up, regardless of whether it is the American flag or the American president, to say, I simply disagree? Why is that so egregious?
Don't you think we should look at it about the time and place and when we say that versus just at any given time? I think you say there's a right time and a wrong time to disagree with being killed by cops. No, I didn't say that at all. I think that was your statement in this one.
You say there's a right time and a wrong time to disagree with being pulled over randomly at a rate 3 times higher than white Americans by cops.
No, not at all. I'm pulled over frequently. So just because I'm pulled over frequently, does that mean I need to take the platforms that are maybe given to me at times where I think it's historical, it's right, and it's right to maybe give honor to the flag, and then right around that, right on the other side of that, maybe get my own speech.
You fought overseas. If you had dishonored the flag in Iraq, or if you had dishonored the flag in Afghanistan, they would have killed you. Isn't that what makes America great, to use the phrase, the fact that you can stand up at a National Football League game and say, I'm going to take a knee because people that look like me are being treated differently than people that look like President Trump? Isn't that what you fought for?
Well, I think, again, if you look at it where, and I may be a different person and my perspective is going to be my perspective, I appreciate their ability to exercise their freedom, as I said before. I just think the space of where we're exercising it is important. And I think many, especially ball players and other sports figures, have so much opportunity, more so than the average person, to be able to get their voice out there, to be able to make their voice heard. They're taking their time at that moment to make their statement. I said, and for me, I would rather just take it at a different time. I think it's give the respect to where it's due. And again, we're parsing the thread in terms of understanding, aren't I supposed to speak up at any time where injustice is there? I do believe that our voices for injustice should be heard, and heard loudly. I think there are opportunities that we have to be wise at when we talk about that, how we say it, and who we say it to. My mama told me like this a long time ago. It's not so
you
much
bring a mama in.
That's right. I'm calling on the mama side. But it's not so much what you say, it's how you say it. And it's not so much what you say, it's when you say it. And so sometimes we're creating a controversy by the things when we say something where we may need to think about it a little bit deeper. We may need to give ourselves a little more reason about how we really pursue this message. Because I think if we're going to really pursue this issue, and I do think it's injustice to talk about how, or, it's not right that we hold our voices or be silent, because the day we become silent,
about things that matter is the day we become insignificant completely. So I believe in speaking out. I believe in justice. At the same time, I believe in prudence, wisdom, grace, and just looking at it the right way. We don't need to be more polarized in our sector of living right now and in our country. We need to probably be more unified. And if there is a possibility that that's going to mean that we're going to have to listen to each other and to, perhaps just think a little bit deeper about when, how, and what we say.
Pastor McCoy, one more break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.